Next up on the podcast is Inoka.
Designed by Noah Miller, artist is Amy Nagi, and published by XYZ Game Labs, Inc.
Yeah, there you go, Inc. Inoka is a game that's basically rock, paper, scissors with a twist. And the twist is you have 3 copies of each thing. In this game, it's a shield, a sword, basically attack, a block, and a taunt. You have 3 copies of each. Each one has a level 1, 2, and a 3 version of it. And there's a couple of different rule sets depending on the player count. If you're playing with 2 players, you basically just play until somebody wins 3 games, or wins 3 stones. And the way you win a stone is you put a card down, the other opponent puts a card down, you flip them over, much like you would in rock, paper, scissors. And if your symbol beats their symbol, then you win, you get the stone, but those cards are spent. You do it again until somebody ends up with 3. So obviously playing the different levels of the different attacks matter in that. Well, they matter all the time anyway, but if you tie, then you flip out another card. Only the ones you tied with, only the ones that end up winning or finishing the match will be discarded. All the rest of them come back to your hand. If you're playing with 3 or more players, then you go into a battle royale mode. And what happens is you kind of do the same thing, but the first phase is everybody puts a card down and flips them over. And then you see who won the most against all the other players. So if you put down a spear and then, only one other person put down a shield, that means you beat the rest of you at least beat the people with taunts. And maybe you won against 3 people and Eric won against 2. So, and Matt won against 1 and George won against 1. So I would win that bout or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. And then
clash.
Yeah, clash. And then it's kind of like a King of the Hill scenario at that point. So now I'm on top. I get this little leaf token. And now I play a single match against everybody. The difference being that you take 5 cards of your 9. So you have to kind of think about what you want to bring. And then you play. And if you beat all 3 players, then you get a stone. And then you do it again, where everybody, you pick 5 cards, everybody puts a card down, face up, or, and then you do the bout, clash, or whatever.
Right.
And then you do the King of the Hill thing, and then somebody gets another stone. And then 900,000 years later, somebody actually wins.
Yeah.
So I told you what I thought about it. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? Here's the thing. I actually did enjoy it for the first 5 to 7 minutes, like it says on the box.
Yeah. It does say that on the box.
Somehow. It does.
And it's probably for
2 players for sure.
Right.
Yeah. It's a neat game. Oh, first off, let's talk about the artwork.
Artwork is super awesome. Production value is good as well. The inside the box art, the art itself.
Yep.
All that's really good.
Small box. They didn't waste space.
Right.
Yeah, it's a small box. It's a cool looking game. It's got a lot of appeal just by looking at it.
It has lovely, strange cat creatures.
It does. I actually like the shield ones the best.
They were nice. The art was very well done.
Yeah, the art is super pretty. It's really vibrant and the contrast is high. Mm-hmm. So everything's like super colorful.
Yeah. Just buy this, add it to your Dixit.
There you go. Yeah. Now, it's weird because I don't think it was bad. The only thing I don't like about it is this whole. We've talked about this before with Eggs and Empires from Mayfair. Basically, you play the game and then somebody gets a stone. You're like, that was pretty cool. That was 1 point.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Let's do it again.
Our tournament we played.
That was like 15 minutes. We mean do it again. And so you keep going. And then if it spreads out well enough, then you were playing, up
to 9
4
times.
players, you're playing up to 9 times, or 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 times.
Right.
Oh, man, it overstays its welcome in that scenario.
Yes.
By a long shot. And that's sad.
It's a pretty simple game, and there's actually not all that much to it. So doing it for that long kind of gets a little tedious.
It's like legit playing paper, rock, scissors, but you keep track to how many times you can throw each thing. Mm-hmm. Just play that for about 35 minutes, and it will wear you down.
I mean, you do keep 5 of the cards every time, and you can change them out every bout. And then you can kind of card count in a way, or know which cards have been played before, because anytime you win a card, you see at least one of the cards that the winner has used before, so you can kind of keep track of that and know what's in their hand to some extent. But I mean, a lot of it is going to be a little random, or it's going to be like, oh, are they going to use that card, or maybe they have they're going to use a different card, so you kind of never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's interesting, and like I said, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's good with more than 2 people.
It's bad.
I would say it's not very good.
This was Kickstarted?
It was a Kickstarter.
It was a Kickstarter, yeah.
It is as good as Rock, Paper, Scissors is.
Well, I think it's
I
a
like
little,
rock, scissors, paper.
yeah. I think it's a little better because it does have a little bit of strategy, but I think the strategy is mostly going to be with two people because it's,
Oh, because anytime when you discard, you start off with 9 cards. You discard, you keep 5, so you do discard face down. But all the discards that you play is always face up, so you kind of know.
It's like you deduce what they might have because you might see them play against the other people during the bout. So I call it a bout, but during the clash, and know that he brought his 3 spear.
Right. So there's not a lot of strategy in it, but there is a little bit of strategy on what you can.
Yes, but you only have the cards that you brought.
That you have, right?
And as they go away, there's not a lot of. There's even less strategy.
Mm-hmm. You do. I don't think we mentioned it. Is if you're ever down to 1 card, then you're out of the bout as well. You can't just play that 1 card.
Right.
Yeah, and that happens quite a bit in like a 4 or 5 player. Is it 5? No, it's 4 in a 4-player game. Yeah. I don't know. It's okay. If it's super cheap, then sure.
Which it is. I think
it's pretty cheap.
At least on the Kickstarter, I believe it was like $9. I'm not sure on what you would pay retail for it.
Less than that.
Yeah, $9 or less. Yeah.
If you can get it for real cheap.
Yeah. If you like rock, paper, scissors,
you'll love this.
You're going to love this.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a game that we play in elementary school, and you take hula hoops and you line them up across the gym diagonally, and you have 2 lines of kids at each corner of the gym, and then the first kid in each line starts hopping from hula hoop to hula hoop. So you have to hop all the way across the gym until you meet each other. And when you do, you play rock, paper, scissors. And the loser leaves, and the other kid just keeps hopping, and their line starts hopping to meet him again.
I've seen that before.
And that game, I'd rather play that game every time.
Fair enough.
That sounds awesome, though.
Well, there's not much else to say for this game. I think for me, if you're going to play it 2 players, it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Like George, you should take this game and play that with the hula hoops.
You know what? That would be fun. That would improve the game. Here's my house rule to improve the game.
Have a bunch of hula hoops.
A big space, lots of energy.
Mm-hmm. I should mention we did receive this as a review copy, just to keep the bias out of it. I don't think we're being biased at all, but. I forget to mention this sometimes, so I do want to put that out there.
Sure.
Yeah, I never know this. I'm always the one who's
out of the dark. I'm fine. I mean, if somebody gives me a game for review, I feel like it's our due diligence to give them a proper review. I'm not going to make stuff up and praise something if I don't like it. I think that for me, 5 to 7 minutes was completely inaccurate to put on the box. That's terrible. If you're gonna put on the box,
of course, for 3 to 4 players.
If it's 2 players, for sure it's 5 to 7 minutes. But if you're playing more than that, the box needs to include that. That's why, like Archipelago, it says like 30 to 400 minutes or something. It's like,
depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, that's not as attractive, but it's disingenuous, I think, to put a time frame for a specific player.
Unfortunately, is a it's a problem that a lot of publishers have.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know why. But be more realistic with it, but
there's a difference between a game that's like an hour and 20 minutes, and then it ends up being like 2 hours. That's like okay, maybe if I played it
is 2 hours.
Oh yeah, well hour. Sorry, it's.
That would be all right.
I was thinking 100 minutes. But say it's like 100 minutes and it ends up taking you 130 minutes. Shush.
Math again.
It has been a podcast about math. Yeah. But my point is, like, if the game was like plus or minus 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Bad, but that's typically not the case. They'll say it's 120 minutes and it'll be 3 hours, which is 50% more.
Well, but that's still not even that bad because it could just be like that's if you know the game. Like I can't see you playing this game in under 10 minutes with 4 players.
Yeah.
Period. There's no way. If you want to have no strategy, you might be able to pull it off.
Play it like super fast.
Play, go, go. So I
actually was playing that way after a little while.
Well, that's fair. So yeah, I'd rather play.
Points.
Play.
That's true. Fair. I did terribly at this game, and that's because I didn't use strategy. Let's say.
Yeah. See, so strategy did help. You can play randomly, and you possibly could win even playing randomly.
That's how I typically do rock paper scissors.
Yeah. But there's some room for strategy. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, final thoughts for me. It's a fun micro game for 2 players. I pass on it for 3 and plus. But if you're curious, and this should be out beforehand, there is a tournament at Gen Con. So visit the
There you go, George.
XYZ Games website or check it out on GenCon.com and see. But
Yeah. Lovely art. Lovely.
Oh yeah,
Very
best
great
thing
art.
about it, artwork. I hope they kind of use that artwork and add it to a meteor game, which would be really nice.
Yep.
Production value, awesome. Big props up on that part of it. Gameplay wise, there wasn't a lot to it, so maybe if you wanted something that is very portable.
Remember,
that
it's a
looks
micro
nice,
game.
Micro game, right?
the problem is the
and-
micro game is only micro when it's short. And then if it's really drug out over the game expands to 8 players. Think about that.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can play. Oh, yeah. We didn't even mention that. Really, you can buy 2 copies of this game
Oh.
and play it up to 8 players. I didn't really go into those rules.
There you go, George.
I
Does
would
that have
imagine
separate rules? I didn't even know.
It did. It came with
Oh.
extra whole page about those rules.
Well, maybe that actually could have some cool stuff to it.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
it's the 3 and 4 that's problematic.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, we're gonna have to revisit this. For
I get another copy.
yeah,
All right.
I'd like to know. I'd be very curious to see what the other rules are.
yeah. We'll have to at least read them. I don't think. First off, it's okay that we didn't play it like that because
No,
that's not what
yeah,
the box
right.
shows.
The box is for
Up to 4.
2 to 4.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So.
Hmm.
But anyway, yep. I think we talked enough about this one. If you're interested, check it out. Especially with 2 players, I think it's a fun micro game, but be cautious at 3 and 4.
Maybe add another box that has separate art, separate symbols, so you can do what is it? Lizard, Spock.
Spock.
Lizard
Yeah.
Spock.
Oh, win losers.
Paper,
No.
rock,
Paper, rock,
scissors,
rock.
lizard, Spock.
Right.
All right, we're moving on. That's Inoka.